Hey folks, Professor Kai here. We're gonna do a quick tutorial on the M5 microcontroller. We are going to power it on. We're gonna print "Hello World" to the LCD screen, and we're gonna power it off. So right now it's powered off. And for this tutorial, I assume you've already programmed your M5 with the necessary libraries. That's the M5 Unified library, the I2C library, and the NeoPixel library. And so M5 knows how to listen to MATLAB, right? If you haven't done that yet, please go watch the video on that and do that first. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. Also, I assume you know how to figure out which port your M5 is connected to on your computer, and if you don't, go watch that video, right? I will go through very quickly the port thing, but first we're just going to connect it with the USB-C cable, and the screen is going to be lit. And you can double check the library on the display right now. The display in the current version of M5 Unified, it'll tell you library, and it'll read off the different libraries. Make sure this is programmed correctly. It should say NeoPixel in there, I2C in there, M5 stack, M5 Unified in there at the minimum. You could have other libraries you programmed in there as well. So what we're gonna do is now run serial port list. That's going to give us a list of different serials, different serial ports that's available, and you can quickly see just the early portion of it. What we're looking for on a Mac is /dev/cu.usb serial. On a PC, it will be something like COM4, and I don't see the entire port, the string that represents the port here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign serial port list, post serial port list, and to this variable SPL, and I know the seventh column of that array is the one I want. So SPL7, there we go, and so that's the string we want, right? We're going to assign that to a variable called port string. Port string is SPL7. There we go. Now we know our port string, and we also know our board type, right? Just so you know, our board type is always the same, and that is this ESP32-W room-dev kit C, right? So you should be using the exact same code here. So then what we're going to do is use the Arduino function. So the Arduino function, and you give it two parameters. The port string tells you which port your Arduino board, and inside the M5 there is Arduino board, right? That's or rather it's the ESP32 board that we're connecting as Arduino board. It's Arduino compatible, just more powerful, and so there's the port string represent which port it's connected to. Board type tells you what type of the board. Hence, we have the ESP32 board. So this function creates a connection, right? So it creates an object that represents the connection between the computer and the M5, or rather, and the Arduino board, right? So now it's going to create this object, and we're going to put the object into this variable called M5. You can call it any variable. I like to use it M5, just easy to remember. And it'll tell you it's connected on this port, and it's this board type. It will also tell you very useful information on what are the different pins that's available, and these we'll use later for our project. And also tell you what library it's installed on this particular Arduino device. Now, the second thing we are going to do after we establish connection to the Arduino board, we're going to specifically establish a connection to the M5 device. and connect it with the M5 Unified library. You can think of it this really we're creating connection to the M5 Unified library. And so what we need to do is use the add-on function, and we say add-on. We tell it we're using we're connecting the M5 connection, the Arduino object we just created, and we're connecting it to the M5 Unified library, and we're assigning this to a object that's the library name. If you haven't learned a lot about object-oriented programming, you don't have to really know this well. Just know that now with this command, we are now able to actually get access to all the functions of the M5 Unified library. Think of it as as connecting to the library package, right? And from that, with that, now we're able to just, well, actually use the M5. So let's start with a very simple command called LCD clear, because right now we have stuff on the LCD, right? So let's just clear it. And this function, we can actually do help LCD clear, and it'll tell us some stuff like LCD, what does it do? It clears the M5 LCD. So how you use this LCD clear is you say LCD clear bracket M5 unified. So it's telling you to clear the screen of this device, that's the M5 unified. And now it's clear, right? And we can use LCD print after to say, and again, we're going to print to the M5 unified. And what do we want to print? We want to print hello world. And now you get, it has hello world written here. There you go. It's in the middle because cursor is already set in the middle. In another tutorial, we'll look at how to do the LCD. But now we know it's working. Great. The last thing we are going to do is turn it off. So we use the power off command. So let's say help power off, and power off, turn all M5 power off. So we're going to say power off bracket M5 unified. Again, this signifies this particular connection to this particular M5 unified device. And there we go. We're just going to wait a little bit, and now, boom, it's no longer lit, right? The LCD screen turned off, the power is off. Now you can unplug. And there you go. And it takes a while because it got to clear some clear stuff up. Just to be safe, usually what I do is do a clear all after, just to clear the workspace, and we can do a fresh start. There is another way to turn off the M5, is that you can always do a there is the power button that is on this side next to the USB-C key. If you press and hold for 5 seconds, it will also turn it off. Think of that as the hardware off button, right? Kind of like your computer, you can do a hard shutdown, right? The power off command, it's a software shutdown. There you go, and I'll see you again in the next tutorial.